Good morning. The talk I'm going to present today is about WeNet, the Internet of Us. The key point where this project starts from is people diversity. People diversity is pervasive in our everyday life. Maybe we do not notice it just because we are used to it, but we exploit it almost in every single step in what you do. So, for instance, we exploit the skills and competence of the medical doctor when we need help, from health, for the plumber who have a problem in a home, experts in general. Not only we exploit skills and competence, but also we exploit the interest and attitude, mental attitude, what is important to people, like the fact that volunteers are willing to support us in doing something, even if they are not paid for it. And last but not least, we also exploit things, concrete objects that may be needed for doing things that we want to do. So, for instance, we can get a lift from a person we know, or we can go to the house of a friend. So, why do we do this? Because we do this because we need that, because no matter how smart we are, there are a lot of things we do not know to do. There are a lot of things we don't own, and therefore we just use the diversity of other people to complement our weaknesses. And by the way, the notions I've used, or like skills, interests, possessions, are not taken out of the blue. They are part of the theory of community of practice, which is one of the main theories that in social sciences are used to model society, how people interact. So, okay, so we have this notion of diversity, which is grounded around the notion of community of practice, around three dimensions. This is for everyday life, but what happens when we go real in the online? Well, in line, of course, we still have the same type of diversity because the people are the same. But a key difference is that online, we do not have the space and time limitations that we have in the physical world. And therefore, in zero time, we can connect to anybody living in a different culture with different habits and so on. And the key observation, which we can see every day, is that the amount of diversity we have access as a people has experienced exponential in the last years. Is that good or bad? Well, it is good and bad. For sure, one thing that we have is that most of this diversity that we have to deal with on the web is a diversity we don't know. It represents what we call our unknown unknowns. And as such, most of them we don't understand, and most of them even scare us. If you look at all the work on bias and fairness that you see in the web, they are just evidence of all these kind of miscomprehensions that happen online. And what is the bottom line? The bottom line is that so far, despite we can connect from point A to B in any place in the world, then we don't really have the technology which allows users to deal with this kind of diversity. And what is the key point? The key point is that to move one step ahead, we need to have technology which allows us to cope with the social challenges that arise anytime we have to deal with some kind of diversity that we never met, or that maybe we don't like, or that we don't understand. While we can connect it to any place, while we connect to any people in zero time, when we end up talking to one person, we are where we were 50 years ago. The technology does not help us, and mostly of a translator. In this perspective, it's exactly the problem that WeNet try to solve. WeNet is what we call the Internet of Us. The Internet of Us, an Internet of people, not an Internet of machinery. The WeNet addresses all the problem issues, like the problem of how to provide people with the technology and facilities which allow them to interact online, thus exploiting the immense opportunity of exploiting all the skills of other people, is really that of providing a diversity-aware, machine-mediated paradigm of social relations. Namely, we want to implement social relations online, but keeping into account the diversity of people and having machines supporting in this. And why so? Just because in the same way as we wanted to exploit our doctor or the plumbers in our everyday life, we can exploit the skills of other people anywhere in the world for the same reasons. Of course, there are limitations because there are no physical presence, but for sure there's a lot of things we can do. Think concretely of how nice it would be if for any problems we have in any given moment of time, we could ask the right person, the best person to help us. Suppose that you have a problem in mathematics or in computer science or anything. How easier would it be that if we could ask the right person for that? And notice that most of the time we don't know this person. So the bottom line is really that you need to create this kind of connections between people. And so as a slogan, the move from internet to WeNet is a move from a network of computers, which in turn may be connected to people, to a network of people which are mediated, whose interactions are mediated and powered by computers. So here the diversity, the notion of the heterogeneity, which was originally in the internet, now is shifted up to the people. Assuming that the internet already gives us the end-to-end connection between any 2 points in the network, instead of thinking how to connect the persons and the people to the network, then the issue is really how to really think of an end-to-end connection, independent of the low level interaction between machines. So how we do this? I mean, lots of technology is being developed, but pretty much the key point is really what we call the socializing the unknown. The key point here is really how can we get into contact with people that we never met, how we can explore their skills, and how we can really look for them, understand what they do, and interact with them. So the kind of technology that we develop is pretty much represented in the current picture, where we go from searching the unknown, which is how do I get to people that I don't even know it exists. In 70s, how do I convince people to participate in the network? Interaction models, how to develop technology to allow to interact between any two people that don't know one another and then don't know one another characteristics. Situational context, meaning how do we make this interaction dependent on the local situation of the people we interacting. Conversational context, how do we make the interaction as a function of the kind of interaction we're having that moment, of the topic, the language, the mood. All of these being grounded in a theory of diversity, grounded in the theory of community of practice, which is based on the kind of sociological work, and even more importantly, or like deeply, grounded in the work on ethics, because ethics here is a crucial point as we are now thinking of a new method and paradigm how to integrate people in the network, and therefore this is going to have a big influence on how we can build a better society to be more inclusive, and also in a sense where people can do much better just because we can exploit, as I said before, that for any given task, the best person in the earth, on the world, which can help them. So these are the key ideas. Thanks for your attention. It has been a pleasure to talk to you.